So a few minutes ago, I was reading some of our comments on Facebook, and one of the viewers asked me two questions. And it's funny because the two questions are absolutely aligned. The first question is, I've got people that waste my time, they're complete waste of my time, what do I do about them? And number two, his question was, how do I make the most of my time? How do I become super efficient? Well, the super efficient question we're going to have to answer over weeks. It's going to take a lot of pieces, but I want to answer this one specifically about both categories. So I had a guy that mentored me when I was 27 years old. That was the most efficient person I've ever been around. He never let anybody waste his time. And the way he did it is he never sat down in a meeting. He would come into my office and he would stand. And I had two chairs there. I'm like, hey, go ahead and have a seat. And he's like, no, I'm good. And he would just stand. And so, God, it made me feel like I'd have to stand up, get right to the point. And whenever I went to his office, I would knock on his door and he would open his office door just enough to have a conversation, but never let me in. It was kind of creepy at first, but it turned out to be an unbelievably great idea. Because when he was done, he'd be like, is that it? And he never rushed. He'd say, anything more? He'd always take the second question, always help me, whatever I wanted. But then when he was done, he'd shut the door. So here's what I'm saying about, there are people in your life that are going to waste your time. I can't stand them. And the reason I can't stand them is I got a lot of stuff I want to accomplish. I didn't get up one day saying, God, I'd like to accomplish more today. It just is who I am. And because it's who I am and I can't help it, I don't like time wasters. You know why? I feel used. Do you ever feel used? Like people just take up their time and they come and sit down and never leave. They make you look bad in front of the whole company because there's some jackass sitting in your office just talking about football or basketball or, whatever they want to talk about, maybe even the news. It's a total waste of your time. So if that person walks in to your office and they're a waste of time, get up, walk right over to them and have a face-to-face. They'll be super uncomfortable and get right to the point and say something like, is that all? I've got a lot of stuff going on. But getting up and walking to them and meeting them is going to be the best way to keep them from camping out in your office. I had breakfast not long ago at a place that on the back of their t-shirts, they had all these tents on the back of the t-shirt and it said no camping. And I laughed. I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. Because these idiots that come into a breakfast place and they camp in there for 2.5 hours drinking coffee and leave a $2 tip. That's what that person's like when they come into your office. They come take 2 hours of your time and they leave nothing of value. Kick them out. That's all I have to say about this one.